Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and we're designing techtips.com. We had a great question on one of our other videos. We did some WooCommerce stuff and somebody was asking if we could do an inline WooCommerce product banner. Sure, really easy to do. So we're going to use a great new looping system to pull in our product data for this today and just build these. Really easy to do, no coding involved at all. So let's go back to the page. I've got it open here. And we're working with a great new Divi 5 at the moment. It's still in the beta version, but we've been promised release by the end of the year. So let's get rid of this. We'll start from scratch. Okay, I've got an empty section here. I'm going to create a row. Now with mine, I actually had 5 different sections. I had sort of an image, then the title, discount, price, and then a button that would take them to the product. So I'm going to select 5 columns for mine. It's going to prompt us to put something in. In the first one, I'm going to use a simple image, and that's going to be our featured image for our product. There's an image model. Now, before I go any further, I'm sure everybody realizes this, but for anybody that may not, you need to have created some products. You need to have the free plugin WooCommerce installed. You need to have created some products, and products have to have a category, a title, and a price, etc. There's the categories. What have you. Now you can custom make these for anything you want, but if you want to do it like I am today, you need products if you want to use the looping system. So now I've explained that, let's go back here. In my second column, I'm using a little heading module. We're just going to have the title of whatever it is product wise here. Then in our next one, I had a little countdown or number counter down here. That had my little discount in it. After that, I'm going to use another heading module because we put the price in over here. Here it is. And this will make more sense when I start pulling in the data from our products in a moment. And next, I had a little button that would take them to the product page itself. Let's throw in the little button right there. Reason mine's pink. It's the way I've got it set up in my customizer for every button at the moment. Okay, well, that's extremely ugly. Let's make it a little bit more interesting. I'm going to put a little box shadow around our row so you can see what's going on a little bit easier because I haven't got a border on there. So I'm going to go into the row, the green tab, design. Just roll down a ways. Here we've got our box shadow. If I throw a box shadow on there, you'll see what we've got for our row there. Now, while we're in the row, I'm going to go back to the content. I'm going to loop this row so that each banner has a different product and details in it. So once back in the content, we can roll down a bit, you'll find loop element. New addition to Divi 5, real game changer. I'm going to switch it on. Now what kind of query do I want? Well, I don't want posts because I really haven't got any on this site. I want products. So I'm going to get rid of that by clicking the little X. I'm going to left click on the empty field here. I'm going to go down to my products. I'm going to select a particular category. Let's perhaps grab dresses. And how many do we want to display? Well, it's giving 10. If I've got 10 of those, it'll display 10. If I haven't, it'll display as many as I've got. So I'm going to leave it just like that at the moment. Now comes the fun part. We can turn this into something that actually makes a bit of sense. For our image on the left-hand side here, if I just left click on it, where it says image in the gray right here, if we roll over, we've got some icons. We need to go to the insert dynamic content icon, left click. I'm going to loop the product featured image. And you'll see instantly it's starting to pull the featured image of each of our dresses category in here. That's great. I'm going to leave it just like that. Our next one, we've got a heading module here. So if we just click on that one, I want this to display the name of the actual product, the dress name itself. So again, we can go to our dynamic icon here, product title. Perfect. Now I don't want to add anything before or after. We'll do that when we add the price in a minute. I'm just going to hit apply. Okay, well, I want this to sit in the middle of our column down here and be nicely aligned with everything else. And I'm going to change the size of that text just a little bit. So while we're in the heading module and go to design, we'll roll down just a little bit, get it looking the way we want. Here it is, heading text. I don't want it to be a heading 1. Heading 2 will work for me. Heading 1 should really only be used as the main title for our page. I'll leave the font as it is, but let's capitalize it and just take it down a little bit in size perhaps. Make it perhaps 22. Now to get it in the middle can be easier. We're in the module itself. We have to adjust the row, the column that it's sitting in. To do that, just go back one, or you go up here and you'll find the column it's sitting in. If you go back, it'll take you to the column that it's sitting in. Design. It's going to be displayed as flex, which is perfect, just what we want here. But I want to go down. I want to justify the content to the center. Boop. It's right in the middle. Perfect. Now, while I'm in this column, I'm going to add a little right-hand border, just as a bit of a separator. And it may look a bit strange, but we'll adjust it in a minute. So while we're here and we're in design, let's just roll down to border. Remember, we're in the column. I only want to do the right-hand side. Here it is. I'm going to make it 1 pixel. There it is right there. We're going to make it the default, perhaps a gray color. But I don't want it to be as dark as that. I'm going to take the opacity down to about 50% by just typing 50 in the opacity there and click outside. Perfect. That's grayed it down a bit. But I don't actually want it to be touching the bottom and the top of the row. So I'm going to cut it off with a bit of margin, perhaps 20 pixels top and bottom. So the line's not going to be full height. Still in the column, we can do that very easily. We roll back up a bit till we get to spacing. Here's the margin. I want to do top and bottom. I'm going to put 20 pixels in there and hit the chain. As you can see now, our little line is only reaching up to there. Perfect. Let's move on to our next one now. And we were going to give them a 33% discount. So I've just clicked on this module right here. Number counter, as you can see. Now, we don't need to use dynamic for this. This is just a fixed thing. You could put a star rating or something in there, but my products don't have any star ratings as this is a demo site. So in design, let's go down. I want to make that number, the percentage number, the same crazy color as the button right there. We roll on down to our number. You can change the font and everything. I'm just going to change the color. Should still be in my clipboard. Great. And we're going to take it a little bit down in size. Let's say to about 40 pixels. And we'll bold it up. And our text down below, if we go back to content, I want that just to say discount. I'm going to say discount. These two are a little far apart from me. I want to tighten it up and again put this in the middle. To tighten it up, we need to take a bit of the vertical gap away. So still in our number counter, if we go to design, layout should be set to flex. Here's our vertical gap. See what happens if we take it down to 0. That's better, a lot tighter. Now to pop it in the middle, you know exactly what to do. We're going to go back one to the column it's sitting in. All we're going to do is justify the content to the middle there. Perfect. And again, I'm going to give it a similar border as we had before in the column to the left. So if we roll down a bit to the border, we know exactly what to do here. I want to do the right-hand border. I'm going to make it 1 pixel. I could copy the styles from my other one. I know exactly what I want here. 50%. And then we have to adjust the margin to make it like the other one there. So still in design, we can roll back up to the spacing. Here's our margin. We used 20 before. Perfect. Now I'm going to adjust the spacing in a minute and make sure our modules are in the middle. And I don't want any gap between the columns really. So let's move on to our next one. This is going to be the price of the actual product itself. So once in there, if we go to content, where it says heading right here, again, if you want to, at the moment it's an H1, which is not really what it should be. I'm going to make it an H3. But for the content, if we go back to the content there, heading, again, roll up over the dynamic content. And we're going to loop product current price. This time, I do want to add something before it. I want to put a little $sign in there. So then before I'm putting a $sign, as you can see, it's popped it up. We'll hit apply. Now let's make this the size that we want it. Back over in design. Roll on down. Here's our heading text. Well, again, let's perhaps make it bold. And a little bit bigger, perhaps 35. Let's make sure it's aligned to the middle. And again, we want it to be justified in the middle of our row here. We know how to do that. Just go back one. Here's the column. Boom. Justify it. Perfect. Now we're on to our button next. Let's go in there. I notice when I hovered over my button, it's got that little icon. I really don't want that, so let's get rid of that first. Button. In design, if we roll down, here's the button styles. Just check use custom styles for the button. I'm going to leave it on the default colors and everything, but I really don't want an icon. So if we roll down to the button icon here, I'm just going to switch that off. I'm just going to add a little box shadow at the bottom of our button, so it lifts it off the page. Want to make sure it's in the middle, so we can do that with alignment at the top here. All right there. Perfect. And of course, we want it in the middle of our column. So we roll back one and justify the content. Perfect. Okay, I want one more of these over here. Then we'll get rid of the gaps and we'll make it a little bit more interesting by putting a background in. And we need to check it on tablet and mobile. So I'm going to go into this column by clicking on the module and just rolling back one. And in the design, I can go down to my spacing. I can copy that. Copy margin attributes. I can pop into this row by clicking on this one, going back one. Right click, paste to margin. We've got our margin right there. Now all I need to go is copy our border styles from this one by going back into that module again. Remember, it's in the column, so we need to go to the column it's sitting in. Roll down to the border. Now right click on border, copy border attributes. You know what we're going to do. In our heading module, just roll back one. Here's our border, right click. Perfect. Okay, at the moment, our rows got gaps between our columns here. That's why our right-hand border is not really making it look like our things are in the middle here. So I'm going to go into the row, design-wise. I'm going to roll up to the top. It should be set as flex. Here's our horizontal gap and vertical gap. Horizontal gap, let's take that down to 0. It'll tighten it up. So everything is nicely in the middle now. We need to put our text, make sure that it's in the middle of our column right here. So if we go into the text module, roll down to the text itself down here, make sure that it's in the middle. This one looks like it's fine. This one looks like it's fine too. And our button looks like it's fine too. While we're in our button, we need to A, add the loop link, and B, put in what we want it to say. So what we want it to say over in content, say buy now, or options, whatever you want to say for yours, obviously. And for the link, the important part, button link URL, again, dynamic content, loop product link. I'll take us to that product. Fantastic. Okay, that's what we got on desktop. Let's have a look on tablet. Well, that's not going to work at all. We need our row to not shrink down. We want it to be inline on tablet too. So I'm going to go into my row, bang it back on 5, and we've got them inline. Now, if things start looking too big, we can go in there. We can adjust the size of our text on tablet by clicking on here. Design, here's our heading text. Let's perhaps take it down to 16 or something. That's okay. I think that's okay. That's okay too. Like I say, if you want to take it down, you can do. Now on mobile, we just got too much information. So it's going to shrink down to one column, which is actually all right, but too much gap between everything here. I want a little gap on the bottom. So let's fix that. So we'll go into the row. Again, we can adjust our vertical gap right here. We're in the row, design, should be set to flex. Here's our vertical gap, just on mobile, because we're just on mobile view. Again, I'm going to make that 0. It'll tighten that up. A bit closer together. Perfect. We could take that title text up again if we wanted to, just on tab on mobile version. Here we are in the heading. We'll roll down heading text. Take it back up. I think it was 22 on desktop and make it the same. And I want a little bit of space under that button. And we should be good to go. Now, remember, anytime you adjust any of these modules on one of these, it'll do them all on our loop section here, which is great. So all I need to do now on mobile is just add a bit of space on the bottom. We're going to make sure we're on our row. Design, roll up spacing. Here it is. Just want to add a bit of padding on the bottom. Let's try 30 pixels. I think that's going to do it. So we've got that on mobile. We've got that on tablet. And we've got that on desktop. I think I finish off purely by giving it a slightly different background, making it a little bit more interesting. Let's go into the row itself. We're already in there. Fantastic. Content. Background's always on the content. Let's throw an image in there, I believe I did. There we have it. And it's eating our text a little bit there. We can either change the color of that or we can throw a gradient over it. Let's throw a little gradient in there. Now, before I go any further, if we roll down, you can't see it because it's behind the image. I'm going to hit place gradient above the background image. Okay, I'm going to click on the top one. I'm going to change it to a white. And the bottom one, we'll change that one to a white also. Start taking the opacity down, see what we've got. Should see that image start to bleed through. And we can still read that price and everything nicely there. Just makes it a little bit more interesting. That's great. And we'll do a whole video on backgrounds. You can do so much with them with Divi. It's absolutely awesome. Let's get rid of our preview now, and we should be good to go. I'm going to save the changes. And let's preview. And there we have it. There's our little inline WooCommerce product tables right there. Really nice little feature. As you can see, really easy to do. And with the new looping system, pulling in dynamic content is a real bonus. So I hope that answered that question. Don't forget, if you have any questions either about Divi 4 or Divi 5, pop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them if I can, or make a little demo video just like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.